In this video on our Citizen L20 Work Center 302, I am going to go over the importance of input versus input plus. So just as it kind of sounds, input is going to input a value that you enter in. Input plus is going to add or subtract, depending on whether you put a negative sign in front of it or not, a value into the currently set value. So where I'm going to show you an example on this is the offset page. I'm just going to pick a random offset here, this tool 10 on Z. So in order to be able to input a number in on this control, it is factory set, and actually upon power up, it's going to be what's called or what they call an incremental. So incremental you can consider as input plus. So I'm going to enter in 5 thou down there. So that when I hit input, now don't get this confused, is when we're in incremental mode, it's going to act as an input plus. So it's going to add in the 5 thou to that, what now is 0. So I hit input, it adds in 5 thou. So again, if I want to add 1 thou, so I typed in 1 thou down here, I'm going to hit input in the incremental state. It's going to add in 1 thou. It's not going to actually input 1 thou in there. So again, if I go negative 1 thou, it's going to subtract the 1,000th from the current value input. So in order to actually input a value or a set value, which a lot of times isn't very common to do, you would actually have to go up to the second column, and you can see this ABS INC, which is same as up here, ABS INC. So you would highlight that, and it stays highlighted there, and then this highlight goes to ABS. Now you're going to, when you enter in a value down here, I'm going to go 0.001. So with that ABS highlighted in both spots, it is going to actually input that number into that box. So I'm going to hit input now, and then it's also going to, it kind of has a safety feature, enter data will be set. Are you sure you want to do that? Then up here it says either yes or no. And if you want to do it, you would say yes. And then it puts it in there. If you're like, oh, I didn't want to do an absolute or input that number in, you'd hit no, and then change it back to incremental up here, and then it won't be asking you that safety net. And as I said in the beginning, this is upon startup, and 99% of the time it's going to be in the incremental mode, which will add and subtract depending on if you add a negative sign in front of the value you want to input.